everybody, I'm Lis. Come on a journey with me and you can see how I see. In touch. Hi everyone, I'm back with the Instant Pot Duo Evo Plus, and today I'm going to show you the menus, the smart programs in the rice and grain menu. If you don't know where the buttons are on your Duo Evo Plus, then go back to episode 6 where I talk about all the parts of the Instant Pot and orient you to all the controls. That way when I tell you to push the select button, you know what I'm talking about and you can follow along with me. So if you're ready, we'll go ahead and we'll zoom in on the screen so we can walk through all of these menu options in the rice and grain. Before you use any of the smart programs in the rice and grain option, I recommend that you reset your pot to the factory setting. Every time you use your pot, it remembers what you did last, and that's what it'll try to do the next time. So in order to be positive that you know what's going on in these menus, I suggest that you reset it. You do that by pressing the rice and grain button, which is the second button down on the left. You press it, it beeps, hold it in, and it beeps a second time, release, and now you're back to the factory settings. In order to get to the smart programs in the rice and grain, you have to press that rice and grain button again. That's that second one down on the left. And the first option that comes up on the menu is custom. In order to select custom, I'm going to push the bottom dial in. That's the select button. And the first thing that it shows me is the time. The custom time starts at 12 minutes, and each adjustment on the dial at the bottom of the display, if you turn to the right, it adds time. If you turn to the left, it decreases the time, and it moves by 1 minute increments. So as you turn to the right, we're at 12, so we go up to 13. Another click to the right is 14, 15. If I go back down to the left, it counts back down to 14. And it has a very distinct feel as you turn it. You can feel it click into each of those spots, and you can hear that it's beeping with each turn of that knob. So it's very good about giving you auditory and tactile feedback. So if you're trying to adjust it and you can't see it, it really helps. The range on the time for this custom menu is down to 1 minute up to 1 hour. So we could count up to 1 hour. If you went past that 1 hour mark, it would circle back around and start with 1 minute again. And then you would have to count back up. All right, so we're gonna say we're happy with our time. Once you've selected your time, go ahead and press the select button, that knob at the bottom of the display. And that takes us to the other option that we can set. And the default is low pressure. And there's only 2 options here. We can be on low pressure, or if I turn this dial, now I'm on high pressure. If I turn it again, and that time I turn to the right. If I turn to the right again, then I'll go back to low pressure. So there's only 2 options in that pressure menu. Once I'm happy with my pressure, now I have the option of starting the cooker. So if I'm ready to go ahead and cook now, I would hit start, and it would go into a preheat cycle. Once it's preheated, it would start counting down the time to 0. The rice and grain menu automatically turns keep warm on as an option. So if you don't want it to keep warm after it finishes cooking, you need to turn that off. The keep warm is to the right of the select button. There's 2 vertical buttons. The bottom right one is the start button, and above that is keep warm. So if I press the keep warm button, now that feature is not enabled. If I want to turn it back on, I would just push that same keep warm button. If I don't want to start now, if I want to wait to start, I can do a delay start. And to the left of the dial are two buttons arranged vertically. The bottom one is the cancel button, and if you have any vision, you can see that that's got red writing on it. All the other buttons have black. But if I select this delay start, it takes me to another place where I can set the time, and this is how much time I want to wait until the cooker starts preheating. It defaults to 6 hours, and I can add time in 10-minute increments by turning to the right. So I'm at 6 hours. If I turn one to the right, now I'm at 6 hours, 10 minutes. Another turn to the right, 6 hours, 20 minutes. And I can go all the way up to 24 hours. Now, if I want to take the time down, then I would turn to the left, and it also adjusts by 10-minute increments. And so that took off 10 minutes, taking off another 10 minutes, and so forth. And that will go down to 10 minutes is the lowest time that you can cook for. Sorry, we're not cooking yet. We're delaying our start. All right. Once I'm happy with that time, we've entered everything we need. So I would hit the start button, which is this bottom right button. Excuse me. It gives 3 beeps. And now my cooker is counting down the delay start time. We're not going to wait for that to finish, obviously. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that bottom left button, which is the cancel button. And before we do anything else in this rice and grain menu, I'm going to go ahead and press that rice and grain button, that second one down. It beeped. I'm holding it. It beeps the second time, and I let go. All right, let's go back in and check out this menu. So I'm going to that second down button. That's on the left. It's the rice and grain. If you remember, the first option on the menu was custom. If I turn this dial at the bottom of the display to the right, I can go to the next option on the menu. And in this case, it is white rice. I want white rice. I'm going to go ahead and select that. And again, it takes me to the time, which defaults to 12 minutes. And if I select that, then it takes me to the pressure, which the default is low. Now, just like I was able to change the time and the pressure on the custom setting, I can do that on the white rice setting or any of the menu settings. To me, I might as well just adjust the custom setting instead of changing it here, but that would be an option. So again, I can turn the keep warm option off if I don't want that to happen when it's done. I'll go ahead and leave it on. I'm not going to delay start this time. I'm going to go ahead and hit the bottom right button, which is start. It gives its triple beep. And those of you that have any vision, you will notice that the first of 3 lights in the preheat progress bar has lit and has lighted. I don't know. It has come on. And once the preheating finishes, then it will start counting down the time to cook the rice. And when that finishes, if you left your keep warm on, then it'll keep it warm until you cancel. Or if you didn't have the keep warm, it would just turn off at that point and start a natural release. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hit our cancel button because we're not cooking white rice right now. Cancel is the bottom left one. All right, I'm going to orient you to all of the options on the menu. I'm not going to click into all of them and talk about, I think I said quick start a minute ago, delay start. I'm not going to talk about the delay start, the keep warm, and the start because I've already covered that. But I do want to show you all the other options on the menu. Just to be consistent, I'm going to go ahead and press this rice and grain button and hold it until it beeps a second time, resetting it to its factory settings. I just like to be in the habit of doing that every time, and I think you should get into that as well. All right, so I'm going to select rice and grain. The first option was custom, and its default is 12 minutes on low pressure. I'm going to turn to the right or clockwise. The second option is white rice, 12 minutes, low pressure. Going to turn again to the right. The third option is oatmeal, 5 minutes, high pressure. Turning again to the right. The fourth option is quinoa, 1 minute, low pressure. Turning again to the right. The fifth option is brown rice, 30 minutes, high pressure. Turning one click again to the right. The sixth option is risotto, 8 minutes, low pressure. Turning again to the right. The seventh option is multigrain, 30 minutes, high pressure. Turning again to the right. The eighth option is porridge for 15 minutes on low pressure. Now, if you are a porridge eater or a porridge cooker, tell me what that is. I didn't realize that was like a thing that people actually eat. Maybe I'm just being goofy, but I think of porridge as Goldilocks and the Three Bears, and she ate this one and ate that one, and baby's bears was just perfect, or whatever the story is. I didn't realize that porridge was some great thing. So tell me about it in the comments. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this one more time to the right, and we end up back at custom, because remember, all of these move from one place. It goes through them in a sequence, and then it'll start the sequence over again. So when you first come into the rice and grain menu, we started on custom and we turn to the right or clockwise. If you know that you want to go right to your favorite food, porridge, and you don't want to click through all those other options, you could turn left or counterclockwise, one click, and you have landed at the last option on that list, which is porridge. So yay, we got here faster. If I turned again to the left, then I'd be on that seventh option, which was the multi-green for 30 minutes on high pressure. So just be mindful that you can move either direction through that menu list. Okay, coming up next in my next video, I will show you the options for the STEAM smart programs. See you then. Hey everyone, thanks for coming by to check out my video. If you liked it, go ahead and click the like button, and you might want to subscribe to my channel, and you can ring the bell so you get a notification when the next video comes out. If you need to get in touch with me, maybe you want to make a request or you want to check on booking for an event, you can shoot me an email. It's Lis, L-I-S, sings for you, and the 4 is a word, not a number, @gmail.com. Hope to hear from you soon. Bye!